Hi, my name is Marie, and I like to make things, and I like to turn around and show you how I made those things. Welcome to my channel. So what we're going to do today is I have 4 ways that you can make actual hoop earrings. 4 ways. There isn't just one way. There is 1, 2, 3, 4 ways to make hoop earrings. But before we get into it, I wanted to take the time to thank my marching cheerleaders, all right here. These are my peeps. These are the people who support me no matter what. My ride or die. They're there to give me suggestions. They're there to be like, when you gonna do another video? Yeah, those are my peeps that tell me what to do. So in the description box below, there is a link to join my marching cheerleader squad. Okay, now another thing that's in the description box below is also all the supplies you're going to need for this project. Okay, so every tool that I'm going to be using in this video, every piece of wire, any of that stuff, all located in the description box below. Now, in the top comment, the very first comment that is pinned, I will have a list. It's only going to be a link to the list of supplies. And then in the description box below, I will have each supply listed with a separate link to it, okay? Because I want you guys to be able to find the supplies and be able to get to it quickly, okay? Now and only now, let's get into it. All right, you guys, so for hoop number 1, what I'm going to be using is 16 gauge copper wire. Now, another thing also when it comes to the measurements of these, there are no measurements, okay? Because ain't nobody got time for measurements. It ain't where it's at, okay? So first things first, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a pair of flat pliers. We are going to take a piece of our wire and we're going to point it upwards like this, okay? Once you pointed that upwards, you can take any sort of needle nose that you have on hand and you are going to take and create a little loop, okay? Boom, we have a loop. Now I'm going to cut it. We're gonna hold the wire, okay? So we don't put our eyes out. I'm gonna straighten this really quick. And then I'm going to take this hoop. You see this little loop? You see how it's going in line with the wire? We don't want that. So I'm going to bend it backwards. See how it's bent? Now, I'm going to take a pair of my most favorite freaking pliers because I love making bracelets and I love making hoop earrings. We are going to take these pliers. Look at these beautiful things. Look at these beautiful. I'm sorry, I get really excited. I just love these pliers, okay? So look at these pliers. You see that got that nice little curve? Hoop earrings have curves. So we're going to use that to create a nice little curve on our hoop. Okay, so we have a nice little hoop. Now, here's the part where you choose how big you want your hoop earrings. Do you want your around the way girl hoop earrings, like these really big ones, or do you want dainty ones? Like this one is like halfway between around the way girl and I go to church every Sunday. I'm gonna stick with these. So, but then again, I want to go bigger. Let's go bigger. Let's go bigger, okay? I'm gonna go bigger. That's why measurements are not needed. It all depends on how you feel for the time being, okay? I'm just making sure that I have enough bent that I can do my round away girls. That's the name of my earring. Round the way girls. Okay. So at this point, what I'm going to do, I love it. This is the size that I want. Right at the part where you're like, this is exactly how I want it to look. Point your wire up so that it looks like this. Cut your wire. Give yourself enough room to play with, because guess what? We're going to do another loop. And we have our hoop earrings almost done. So I have it pointed up. We're going to want to do a little loop. Why are we doing a loop? So for my ears, and if someone has ears kind of like mine, in the past my ears were stretched. I believe I told you guys this before. So I use 16 gauge wire, and of course the holes are large, so my earring just floats around in my ear and it drives me crazy, and next thing you know, it's all the way over here, and that's very, very aggravating to me. So now we are going to do a loop right somewhere near that bend. I'm going to bend it back because it just seems better that way. Let's do a nice loop. Okay. Now I'm going to take my flat pliers because I need this post to be going in this direction so that it can meet up with this loop. So we're going to bend that post in. It is met here with on the other side. So I stuck this post onto the other side here. And then I'm looking at it to see how long I want it to be, how long I want my post to be. And so I'm just going to cut it right where I think I want it to be. Okay. Now let's take these hoop earrings to a whole nother level. Okay. Now I found these two beads. You're probably like, what are we gonna do with these beads? Okay, what I like to do is I like to wire wrap some beads, because then I can take this and interchange them out and add a little something or other to my hoop earrings and make them look even more special. Okay, now to do that, I'm just going to take some 20 gauge wire. With the 20 gauge wire, I made sure it was all straight. And then I'm going to take these beads and I'm going to slip them on. Boom and boom. Look at that. Then I'm going to do a really, really tiny loop. Okay. Because we don't want to have it dangling further down than we need it to be. Okay. Pull your bead down. Pull the bead down, bend it towards you, and then I want to have a really big loop on the top, because that is what's going to be able to get it on to our post of our hoop here. So do a nice size loop. I love these pliers because you can pick whatever size you want and it'd be okay. Okay. So I'm going to choose that one. So we got a nice little loop. If you wanted to do it smaller, you can always do that also. Okay. So I'm going to do it a little bit smaller. Nothing too crazy. All right. So here we go. Got a nice little loop that's big enough to go on our hoop earrings. Hold the loop in a pair of pliers and just close it out. Cut it. All right. And here we go. We got it. Now you're going to smash down these ends. Make sure they're not scratchy or going to scratch you later on. And then you can take your hoop earring and just slip your bead on. And I like the 16 gauge because it's strong, but it also it's not gonna lose its shape too much. So this is hoop number 1. So hoop number 2 is fairly similar to hoop number 1, okay? The hoop number 1 is good for people who have bigger holes, and for hoop number 2 is good for people who have normal size holes, okay? So we're basically going to be doing the same thing using the 16 gauge wire, no measurements. So if you remember, do you remember what I did first? That's right! We did a loop. So I like this size, so I'm going to cut it here. Let's cut it here. Okay, you're gonna wanna do a loop on the other side, but it would look just like this one. Let me show you. So again, we have it pointing to the sky, but we need it to be sideways. So we're gonna take it with our pliers and we're gonna twist them sideways so that it looks something like this, okay? So as you can see, we have the hoop, we have the 2 loops on either side pointed to the sky. How are we going to put this in our ear? That's when our 20 gauge wire comes in handy, because with the 20 gauge wire, this is good to go into an average ear. So you can do 20 gauge or you can do 18 gauge. So we're gonna do a little bit of a faux post. So the wire's still on the spool here. I have a little bit of wire that's going through. This part right here is going to be the post. I'm not gonna take it off the spool yet and cut it. So what I want to do is just wrap it around this 16 gauge hoop. So it's up to you whether you want to get some pliers to hold the hoop and hold the wire at the same time. All we're doing is just twirling this around and wrapping it around and trying to be as neat as we can while we do it. Okay. I don't like trying to figure out how to smash that down, so I always cut it because it's only a little bit of wire that's going bye-bye, okay? Make sure you hold it. And if there is a little piece there that you need to smash down, then smash it down. But in my case, I don't have it. So now I have my cute little post here. All right, it's secured over here. Now we can cut it. All right, and look at that. We have a nice little post that can go inside of the other side of our hoop. This is a close-up of it. All right, and you can still use that same concept of using beads to slip it on. Same thing. So this is hoop number 2. So let's move on to hoop number 3, okay? Again, the same concept as hoop number 1 and 2, but it's got a little bit, it's going to be a little bit different, okay? You will be making the hoop just like normal, okay? Okay, so I made my hoop look like I go to church about 5 or 6 times a week. Meaning I made them very small. I made it like hoop number 3, where it has 2 loops on either side. Okay, boom. Now I'm gonna pull it apart just a smidgle. Again, this is for people who have smaller ears. 20 gauge or 18 gauge wire. I am going to create a little loop on the end. Alrighty. And so what I also want to do is I want to overlap that loop just a smidgle. Okay, so it has like almost like it has 2 turns in it. Okay, do you see that? So I over looped it once. Now I'm going to open up one side of our hoop earring. Boop. And I'm going to slip that on. Then I'm going to close it. So now we closed it, so it's not going to be able to get out or anything like that. Now I am going to, from there, I'm trying to make a shape. Making a nice little shape. Because I want these hoops to be small, but then they dangle just a smidgle, okay? I like how low this goes, okay? Give yourself a nice little bend like that. So I'm going to take a pair of flat pliers because I want this to stick up like this, almost like a little catch. Let's cut it. And if you want to, you can sand that end down. Same with any of the ends that are in these hoops. It's completely up to you. So that is hoop number 3. Hoop number 4 is even more simple. So you can use either 20 gauge to do this or 18 gauge wire. So I have a little bit of 18 gauge wire that I wanted to use up. One end, you are going to just bend it up like that. Then you're going to use your tool, or if you have anything lying around, you can use that also to create your little loop. Again, I want to look like I go to church every single day of the week. So I'm going to make these a little bit smaller. I'm going to do a little loop right here. You notice that I didn't point the loop to the sky. We're just doing this one flat. And once I got my loop, I'm going to cut it. No measurements whatsoever. I did tell you guys this, right? You may be saying, didn't you just tell us that you didn't like when your hoops are just falling and floating through your ear like that? I did say that. I'm not backtracking on that, but I do something a little bit extra to this. I am going to link a video above that will show you how I took this hoop design and then I covered it in beads to make it look like this. So check out that video, because when you are covering it with beads, not only are you covering it with beads, you're also adding more wire to this thin wire right here. You're making it stronger, you're making it prettier, and you're making it so that it doesn't fall in your ear and float all around in a circle and get annoying. So check out that video. It will be creating something similar to this or this. Or you can make a little design like this. How about this one? I did this one the same as our second earring, and I did the creation of the post with 20 gauge wire, and then I also did the hoop out of 16 gauge wire and just made some little swirly doo-wops in there. Swirly doo-wops. Do we even know what that means? No one knows what I mean half the time. So there's so many ideas for this. I am curious, you guys, as to what ideas you came up with. Either you can show me that on Instagram, you can tag me on Instagram. If you're not on Instagram, how would you like to be a part of my private community on Discord? In the description box below is the email that is connected to my Discord. All you have to do is email me at that email and ask, hey, can I be a part of your Discord community? And I'd be like, sure. No problem. And I'll send you a link. Remember, that link is only good for 7 days, okay? So if you're trying to get in and it's been a month, it's not going to work. So make sure 7 days. It's only good for 7 days. So you guys, I hope you are having a good week, because I am. Don't forget, every Tuesday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I do a live stream where you can come in the chat, have fun, look at me try to figure out a project that will be later put into a video. That's usually what I'm doing. It's always me making something that I've never made before, and then I'm trying to figure out if there's a way that I can teach you guys so that you benefit from what I'm trying to make here. It's always a fun thing for everyone involved, okay? Anyway, you guys, I love you. Make sure you love everyone around you. Make sure you let them know that you love them, okay? Because everyone needs a little love and a little kindness. Other than that, I'll see you guys in the next video, okay? Bye.